Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Jason Show. We are live from our studios in Eden Prairie. Hope you're having a really good morning. Thanks for being here. I am Jason. There we go. Oh, thank you. Better late than never. Oh. Remember when executive producer Jeff was on vacation and Tyler actually had the applause working correctly? That was, yeah. Remember those days?
So nice.
Please welcome my sidekick sister. Cue up the fake applause for Miss Kendall.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. I wanted to see if my shirt would sort of match the new graphics.
They
Kinda?
kinda do.
Kind of.
You look great.
not.
You look fantastic.
Thanks.
You do. You look really, I mean, I know.
I thought it would match more. It doesn't. But
No,
I tried.
I think it looks great. It complements it very well.
Compliments.
It
That's a good way to
complements it
put
very well.
Yes.
And you know, blue, you know, you're standing against blue. A little fun fact. Blue is one of the best colors on television. So if you're ever planning on being on television, wear blue. It always
Good to
looks the
know.
best. Did you know that? Did you know
I don't
that?
think I didn't. I just knew jewel tones. That's like a good,
Yes.
helps you pop.
Yeah. And speaking of that, thanks everybody. I was reading all of your comments yesterday on our brand new stuff. I really appreciate the support. Glad you all like it. Glad you're having fun with it like we do. I get a kick out of this stuff, and I'm a little bit of a TV nerd, but you guys really seem to like the new look, the new theme by Yam House and stuff. So thank you. It meant a lot to all of us. So.
I'm curious if they'll notice any of the new things that are new today.
Yeah, some of the yeah. What's what am I like? But yeah, you'll notice some things. I've added a couple new things. So hey, so last week I was obviously in a car for a prolonged period of time, 18 hours with Colin, my mother, her dog. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant her dinosaur. My mother has a dog that's 178 pounds.
Stop.
Did you know? Yeah,
100, that big? I
Yeah, I
knew you
think-
said a big dog, but
No, my mom has a Mastiff. The dog's name is Radar. And she texted me, you know, she's in Minneapolis now at a temporary housing until she finds a permanent place. But she said she's going to start charging people. Every time she goes down to let him out, people want to take pictures of him because he looks like he's from Jurassic Park. He really does. And I said, Mom, there's a way to make some money to get some new towels.
Hey, girl.
Charge, let the kids have pony rides on him.
Yeah.
But he's giant. Anyway, he's a good boy. So we're driving, and I had a Jerry Seinfeld life revelation. We were in Shreveport, Louisiana. We stopped at a hotel to sleep a week ago right now. And I go into the restroom in our hotel room, and I look over, and I realized you can always tell the hotels that were built in the 90s, they're the ones that have telephones near the toilet. And I thought to myself, why did anybody think this was needed? Is there ever going to be that big of an emergency in there that you need a phone? I mean, perhaps, but obviously, you know, this was before cell phones, but I thought why do we need a phone right there by the facilities? It was just a Jerry Seinfeld moment I had.
I mean,
Let me just ask you, have you ever used that phone?
well, no, I don't really remember having phones in the bathroom. I mean, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But I could see people just making some phone calls when they're busy.
I've never used a phone in one of those bathrooms.
It's so gross when you think of a hotel, though.
Well,
like, that's extra gross.
Yeah, especially now. I mean, I wipe down anything anyway, but I looked at it and I thought, this is a pure sign of the 90s. You know, this building was obviously built in the 90s, that there's a phone on the wall. And also those hotels that have TVs in the mirrors. I don't need that either. I just want to shave.
Yeah, and you're kind of, at this point in life, too, you're sort of looking at it like, is that a TV?
Is that a TV?
Like, is there someone watching me? What's happening?
Is Judge Judy watching me from the bathroom screen? I don't need that. I just go in there, and leave. But yeah, it was just, I looked at it like, phone, are you ever used? I mean, why couldn't you just, anyway, yeah. The good people of Shreveport. Let's get started, everybody. It is time for the hot dish. Here we go. We have a new plant. Let's call him Stubby.
That's one of the things they might notice.
A little thing. I don't know. Let's move it right there. Is that good? Yeah, right there. My buddy, Hey Haley Hurst, who's the executive producer of the LA version of the show, she told me this was blocking the logo there, so we had to
she
move
has
it.
a point.
She's very smart, that Haley. Let's get started. Sad news to report this morning. One of America's most beloved TV shows is calling it quits. Look.
We were going to organize all these cars, because look at all the crap she has here.
Oh my God! Shut the f up!
Shut the f up!
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Courtney, are you kidding me?
Shut the f up!
Oh my God.
I feel like there's a tarantula in my ass.
Tarantula in my
Holy, you guys! What are we gonna do?
What?
It's a tarantula, not Mike Myers. What are you thinking? After 20 seasons, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is coming to an end.
Stop.
See, that's properly timed applause. In a joint statement, I love that there had to be a joint statement, the family said they've decided to end this very special journey. You know how I feel about the word journey, way overused in press releases. The network, also released a statement saying, quote, along with all of you, we have enjoyed the following intimate moments the family so bravely shared. Look at the bravery on display right there. By letting us into their daily lives. Back in 2017, the family signed a 3-year extension with E, valued between $100 and $150 million. This last season will air in early 2021. And then, as the late, great Gerald Ford said, our long national nightmare will be over. There we go. I know you like this, and I'm really angering my mom right now. My mother liked this show.
Thank you, Dar.
I
I
know.
love them too. I'm not proud of it. It is my guilty pleasure viewing TV. And for one more thing to get ruined in 2020 is just not okay. It's not okay.
I would rather stick my hand in a Vitamix more than watch this show.
You've never given it enough of a chance.
I've watched enough to know that it's a trash box.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's horrible.
There are a lot of people who feel how Dar and I feel,
Yeah,
and it's
I know
not
there are.
that bad.
Well, it's been a hit for years. And look, I may hate the show, but I've said this. I will be fair. I have to give it up for Kris Jenner. I mean, she turned her family into an empire.
Right.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. I mean, that's bravo to them.
Right.
I mean, no pun intended. I mean, she did it.
Speaking of Bravo.
Thank you. Good transition. Thank you there, sidekick. My feeling, and Colin texted this to me, I think Kris Jenner's going to end up on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on Bravo. I do.
I don't know.
She's friends with Kyle, who Kyle's kind of bugging me this year. But anyway, she's real friends with Kyle. Bravo likes organic relationships on these shows. I think she'd be great. Also, I would like my former wife, Nicolette Sheridan, to join that show.
Oh, that would be so good. She goes from Desperate Housewife to Real Housewife.
Well, you want to know why?
Why?
Because she dated Harry Hamlin, Lisa Rinna's husband.
Stop.
Oh, yeah. And there's not good blood between Lisa Rinna. Were they married? Were they married?
Now
Can we
that you're
do-
saying
can we
this,
do
sounds very
a fact
familiar.
check? We do not like to be inaccurate with celebrity marriages.
not.
We'll fact check that. But I think they just dated. I think she was married to Yanni. No, that's Linda Evans. You're mixing up primetime divas.
Okay.
I think she was married to Michael Bolton.
Oh,
And
yes.
she only dated Harry Hamlin. I should know this because Nicolette Sheridan was one of my teenage crushes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that. You said it might be reworking a deal. I blame Courtney. Mic drop.
You blame Courtney for this whole thing?
Yeah, it's been coming for seasons. She's been like, I don't want to be a part of it. It's too much work. I'm like, oh, it's too much work to just be yourself on TV.
We have confirmation they
Oh,
were
yes.
in fact married. Thank you for that fact check. That was great. Next in the dish, Ellen will return to the airwaves in a week and a half. The show kicked off season 18 amid a sea of controversy after staffers accused management of a toxic workplace. 3 senior producers were let go following an investigation. Ellen says even though all this happening, she's excited to get back to work, she says. And she also said she's going to address the controversy. Tiffany Haddish will be her first guest. Kerry Washington, Alec Baldwin, Chrissy Teigen is also going to appear in their premiere week. Now, let me get to comments first. Let's hear from you, and then I'll tell you how I feel. So here's the deal. On the Jason Show Facebook page this morning, we asked all of you, the daytime audience, what does Ellen need to say to convince you that things are different? And we got quite the response. Here's just a smattering of them. Amy says, hi, Amy. She waits until her season premiere to say something, It's been months. Actions speak louder than words, and what you do when the camera stops rolling means much more than your personality in public. Many people had the same take as Amy, by the way. That was a sentiment repeated. Kimberly, let's go to her next. Kimberly says, it takes a big woman to wait months to address a situation after your PR team figured out a way to for you to save face. Terry says, I'm going to wait and see what she has to say. It's only fair to hear her side of the story. And finally, Kathy chimes in. Hi, Kathy. People will say things to hurt others, whether they are true or not. Ellen has done wonderful things for people. She deserves respect and a chance to tell her truth. I am very much with her because, again, by the grace of God, I know that I will eventually step in due, and I hope that I will be given grace to apologize and make better. And that last comment is right. It's really easy in moments of drama to jump on the bandwagon and grab your pitchfork and charge the beast's castle.
Right.
Beauty and the Beast reference. But you can't forget the good things that she's done, and everybody deserves a second chance. I'm going to wait and see what she has to say, and I would hope people would do that for us or anybody else. You know?
I think all those takes sort of fit the narrative of what every different opinion could be.
Yeah.
So it's true. I agree. I think cancel culture can be a little harsh sometimes.
Yes.
It is a little late in the game to say something, but who am I to say?
I do agree with that. That is the one thing. I wouldn't have waited for the season premiere.
Right.
I would have done a Paula Deen. She was in Office Depot though, but I would have had Portia put a camera on me
Right.
and own it immediately.
Right.
The celebrity scandals that go away quickly are when celebrities do that. Grab a camera, be sincere, don't script, talk from your heart.
Right,
That
right.
would have saved her a lot of grief. Lots more to come, everybody. Go get another cup of coffee. I have to actually find mine, and we'll be back right after this.
Stay right there, we're just getting started. Coming up next, ever wonder how Netflix decides which shows to greenlight? Well, the big wig of the streaming giant spills the secrets of their success. Then, double the talent. They're the stars of Food Network's new show, Takeout Twins. The Potash Twins are back on The Jason Show to give us a preview. And quick on their feet, the stars of the long-running comedy Whose Line Is It Anyway will join us live with a preview of their new show coming to the Ordway. Wait, how is that going to work? You're going to find out because it's all next.
It is interesting that these are the pictures that people thought this is the best representation of me.
This person didn't put a lot of time
Yeah.
into their photograph.
This is as good as it gets.
You know, this might be his driver's license photo, which I can't say is probably the best idea.
Always good to wear.
Oh my God, this woman is beautiful. She's wearing this absolutely gorgeous golden sari and really spectacular outfit, and very nice that, I'm guessing not a couple. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I'm saying not a couple. That's
Love is mysterious, though.
Love
you
is
never
mysterious.
know.
Here we have what appears to be a Catholic priest, and I hope he's asleep in this photograph. Otherwise,
Wait, let me see that guy.
Otherwise, God.
Oh my God!
He's either asleep or God rest his soul.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Hey, everybody, it's dead clergy night.
Welcome back, everybody. Conan going through his brand new sort of audience. 278 cardboard cutouts so far. I said we should do a version of that, and we're going to. I think we're going to do like a Zoom virtual audience, but also maybe have people Xerox their face. And do we have a mannequin? Can we get a mannequin up in here? I don't know.
I bet Schwab could find us one. Schwabby could totally find us. I
Aaron
don't think
Schwab
she's
can
going to be
find
able to
one.
find us these things.
Yeah,
She
I'm sure
could.
there's a store that's closing that could send us, or we could buy a mannequin cheap.
Shop,
Be
some
willing
prop
to do
shop.
that. I'll turn over the credit card for that. Not my credit card, Sheila Oliver's, but still. Sheila Oliver's our big boss. More late night for you. Josh Gad was filling in for Kimmel last night. This is making, Now, this is, you know, I always try to do something for my fellow nerds. We are both nerds. This is for the nerds out there. He interviewed Daisy Ridley, you know, Rey from Star Wars, and geeked out over Star Wars. And the two talked about who Rey was related to. Look.
Have you been keeping Rey's secret from the beginning? Did you know about the parentage? Like, tell me about that journey of when you found out.
No. At the beginning, there was toying with like an Obi-Wan connection, and then it really went, there were like different versions, and then it really went to that she was no one. And then it came to episode 9, and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy. And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. So it kept changing. So then even I was filming, and I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be.
Until the very end. So at one point, Obi-Wan was in there. Who else? Was Olaf amongst the possible parents, or?
I think Olaf was, yeah. Just a galaxy far, far away. He was in a different, it was a darker time.
Josh and Daisy, actual dear friends in real life, as you can tell. It's a great interview. Josh, obviously, does the voice of Olaf. Fascinating. I won't geek out too much, but even if you're not a Star Wars fan, the reason people are losing their mind over that is twofold. First, it shocks me that a franchise like Star Wars, you don't have, you waited to the last minute. It was a crapshoot of who she was related to. You shouldn't have. And I love J.J. Abrams, and I don't mind winging it. Star Wars, the original trilogy, was kind of a wing it. George changed things a lot, but come on, JJ.
Right. You think about J.K. Rowling, opposite end. She had 7 books for Harry Potter.
All mapped out.
And she knew it all way before they were released. I'm wondering if they did know and they just didn't tell her, because remember how secretive they were about this whole process because they had to be?
Yeah, John Boyega left his script under the bed. Anyway,
right.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's that.
While I was gone, John Boyega talking very honestly about his experience of Star Wars. Read that GQ article. It's fascinating. Yeah. Ooh. Not good. Not good. He makes some valid points. Daisy starred in The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and the most recent, The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, moving on. Next in the dish, the Academy Awards has struggled with diversity over the years, but it's making changes that it hopes will lead to more representation. So here's the deal. Starting in 2024, in order to be considered for Best Picture, the film must meet 2 of 4 inclusion thresholds. Those are on-screen representation, like having a diverse cast, creative leadership, that's diversity behind the camera, industry access and opportunities, diverse internships and apprenticeships, and audience development that calls for a diverse marketing team. I want to see this, and blunt honesty, it feels weird for me to comment on this as a white man. So I know when to, I know what their intent is, and the intent is good. I mean, it is a travesty that there isn't more representation in producer rooms and in front of the camera. I want to see how this is going to play out, though, when it comes to awards. You know what I mean? Will this exclude films unintentionally? That's my worry.
Right. I think that it's just for Best Picture. So it doesn't say everything will have to be like this. I hope that by them being really public about this, and I hope they keep talking about it, more people of color or people that are just different than everyone else want to be a part of TV, or movies, excuse me, who maybe didn't think that they had a place in it. Yeah. That this maybe encourages them like, well, they have to have me, so I might as well give it a shot, because then we could hear cooler stories.
Absolutely. You know? And it is important. Representation matters. I mean, when seeing yourself reflected on camera, again, I always bring up, to make it personal, I remember seeing like the first gay characters on TV. It meant a lot, you know. Gay characters that weren't the stereotypical, gay best friend that's goofy, and you know what I mean? Just normal people, normal, I hate that word, but just a character that just happens to be gay, that's important to see. Next in the dish, the co-CEOs of Netflix were on CBS Sunday Morning. It was a really good episode of CBS Sunday Morning. There were a couple good stories. Netflix is one of the few companies that has actually thrived during the pandemic. And they talked about, one of the many things they talked about, how they choose what shows to buy. Look at this.
We probably hear about 100 a day.
You have 100 pitches a day.
Yeah, so that's film and series and television and global and documentaries.
The first pitch Sarandos heard and the first show Netflix produced itself in 2013 was House of Cards. Tell us why you even wanted House of Cards. What did you see there?
It was Shakespearean. It was about greed and power and sex and all the makings of great television.
House of Cards starred Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright. So what did you have to do to get them to sign on?
Ted's charm and a huge checkbook. That combination can do anything.
How huge a checkbook? Well, Sarandos paid $100 million for the first 2 seasons of House of Cards. Netflix is
Ted Sarandos said to Leslie Stahl that the CEO had this vision at the very beginning of Netflix. He said that he always envisioned, and this is back when the internet was like basically a gerbil on a wheel, you know. Netflix reportedly spent $15 billion globally on content last year. Co-founder Reed Hastings has a new book, No Rules, which he talks about his unorthodox management style. He's one of them that Netflix doesn't have a vacation day policy. If you want to leave, you leave, which I don't know. I like a good vacation, but that's a whole other can of worms. But it is fascinating, you know, with House of Cards. I remember when there was, you know, the plates moved on the continent. And that was, and I know he's Mervy-Pervy, but Kevin Spacey was on Letterman promoting House of Cards. And Kevin said something that I will never forget. I reference it all the time on the radio show. He looked at Dave and Dave goes, Netflix? Like,
Right.
what are you doing? And he goes, Dave, trust me when I say this. It'll never go back because now people want entertainment when they want it, how they want it. And he said that and he said something else. But when he said that, I went, he's absolutely right. We are now conditioned. I mean, back in the day, all of you youngins watching, you had to wait a week before you could watch anything on TV. And you couldn't go back and rewatch it back in the early 80s. If you wanted to watch Magnum P.I., you had to wait until Mondays on CBS. We are now so past that. If we want to watch a show, we want to watch it at 2:32. Schedules don't mean anything anymore, right?
No, and it was a very novel concept back then, like you're saying. I mean, I remember even just watching Desperate Housewives on Sundays.
Yeah.
And we would tape it with a tape, like an actual physical
Yeah.
tape. And that was the only way, if we missed it, we could watch it. Now it's just...
Well, fun thing about Desperate Housewives was actually one of the first shows streamed. Desperate Housewives was one of the shows ABC allowed Apple to use in their iTunes store. That was one of the very first shows.
Really?
Yeah, it was an experiment. Desperate Housewives and Lost and Grey's Anatomy were one of the first shows offered up to
Makes
Apple.
sense.
And now here we are.
Wow.
Well, speaking of TV, next in the dish, the Golden Girls are back. Kinda, but this is awesome. Alfre Woodard, a Desperate Housewives alum. Tracy Ellis Ross, Santa Lathan, and Regina King took part in a table reading of the sitcom last night. It aired online in a new web series called Zoom Where It Happens, which was launched by Black women in Hollywood, aimed at encouraging people to vote. The event also raised money for Color of Change, a racial justice organization. King was Dorothy, Alfre was Sophia, Lathan played Blanche, and Tracy Ellis Ross, I love you, was Rose. Awesome idea. And that casting is spot on.
I love even just the photos that they released of that. That just looks, it's hilarious and awesome.
If you have a chance to see it, everyone, go watch it. Look, I don't always like when they touch classics, and the Golden Girls, by the way, celebrating its 35th anniversary this year. Yeah, debuted in 1985. I don't always like when they retouch classics,
Right.
but I've always thought there could be a new version of the Golden Girls. You know, not an exact duplicate, but just a new group of women, you know, or a group of men. I always thought a whole bunch of old gay guys would be very funny. Like in a
that
retirement
would be
village.
funny.
That would be hysterical. Just me. You can buy that idea from me. Still ahead, everybody. They are world-class musicians and they're foodies. The Potash Twins will join us to talk about their new digital series with some of their very famous friends. And then, two guys from the show Whose Line It Isn't Anyway will join us to talk about their Zoom event at the Ordway coming up later this week. How is that going to work? We'll tell you coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's time to open up the Jason Show mailbag. Our first letter comes from Sarah, and Sarah has just a general question. She wanted to know how my mother was after my rescue of her from the aftermath of Hurricane Laura. Thank you, Sarah, for asking. She is fine. She is adjusting. And I saw her laugh kind of for the first time this week over a little funny story. We were kind of recounting some of the crazy things that happened in our journey. And I referenced this last week. I said, ooh, there are stories that I will sprinkle through the next week or so. And one of them is, Sarah asked to tell one of the stories. And one of them is, you know, anything that could happen kind of happened. And it's also, it illustrates what the people of Louisiana are still dealing with. And again, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. If you have the means, if you have the ability to donate to the Red Cross, please do so. This recovery effort for the people of Louisiana is going to take months. Some estimates say the people of Lake Charles will not get their electricity back for 2 months. Just think about that. Electricity and water for 2 months. But one of the things that had happened, and this also is an example of there are good people out there. We were picking my mother up from a hotel, and we had to place her in a hotel because she was living in her house with no air, no electricity, and no water. And we had to try to find her a hotel until we could get there. We spent almost 3 hours on the phone trying to find one hotel within a 2-hour radius of Lake Charles. We literally found the only hotel, a La Quinta, right outside of, right by Texas. The last room left, and I'm not joking. So we had to go get her before we made our way to Lake Charles, Louisiana. We got my mom, we had her in our rental car, and we're driving toward Lake Charles. And it's my mom and her dog in the back, Colin and I in the front seat. And as we were driving toward Lake Charles, as we got closer and closer, we kept seeing more and more damage, more evidence of kind of the focal point of the hurricane. As we approached about 30 miles before Lake Charles, the debris, the damage got even worse. Billboards, you know how billboards are now made basically of cloth? They were ripped to shreds like pirate flags. It was unbelievable to see debris everywhere. And as we're driving 35 minutes before Lake Charles, I heard a noise and I ran over hurricane debris and the tire exploded. Like our tire on our rental car exploded. We had to pull over at a rest stop. Luckily, there was a rest stop about a half a mile up the road. We were just unbelievably stressed. We pulled over and we looked at the tire and it was full of debris. And we tried to call help. We tried to call for either roadside assistance or to find where the nearest place was. No cell service. Half of the cell towers in the area are destroyed. So we couldn't find help. We had a tire. I don't know how to change a tire. Colin did, my mom did, but there was no jack and no a tire iron in our rental car. Luckily, there was a groundskeeper on the grounds of this rest area. And here, this is just an example of there are good people out there. My mom saw him miraculously driving around on a golf cart. She runs over there, tells her the story, and asks if he has any tools. And miraculously, he had a jack, he had a tire iron, and I threw whatever money I had at him in my wallet and thanked him profusely. And we got the tire and we were on our way. And then as we approached Lake Charles, the damage from the hurricane was even more evident. And it was just horrifying. As I hinted at yesterday, my mom pointed out right by the actual Lake Charles, there's several casinos right there. And probably the biggest thing that made your heart just sink was in almost terror was one of the casino boats was pushed up against the land. Like not even tipped over, but pushed on shore. This giant casino boat, the 155-mile-an-hour winds pushed this boat ashore. And it was just one example of what these people are going through. And I know there's an election happening, and I know there's a pandemic, and I know there are wildfires in California. But I really hope we don't lose focus that these people, just like the folks in California in the aftermath of the fires, I hope people still remember the good people of Louisiana. They are going to need help for a long, long time to come. So I'll end like I began with this story. If you can help the American Red Cross, all you have to do is Google Hurricane Laura Relief on Google, and there'll be a whole bunch of resources. The Cajun Navy is also a wonderful resource on Facebook. They are a community-activated team of just residents that go into these areas to help. If you have some money or resources, the Cajun Navy can use your help too. And to all of you that have helped my mom, reached out, sent gift cards here to Fox 9, donated to the Jason Show fan club donation page. Again, I'll say it, and I can't say it enough. I feel like renting an airplane and skydiving for you. I love you, and my mom and I can't thank you enough. Guys, when we come back, the Potash twins will join us. And don't forget, if you have a question for us for our mailbag, all you have to do is find us on social media. Search for Jason Show TV. Stay right there, everybody. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Well, our next guests are known for jazz, music, and food. And then their next TV show is all about, well, the latter, food. Look at this.
Hey everybody, it's Ez and D, and we're the Takeout Twins, professional musicians and amateur chefs. Our life is on the road, touring with some of the biggest acts in the world, and if there's one thing that we know, it's takeout. We're going to take our favorite takeout dishes and show you how to make these at home.
You are?
With one big twist.
Thank you so much.
We're also going to order delivery of the same dish to prove that our version holds up to the takeout.
That's right. That's the Takeout Twins, available now on the Food Network Kitchen app. Please welcome my friends, Ez and D. Hello, guys.
Hey, Jason. Thanks so much for having us. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. No, thank you guys for being here. First, congratulations on the new show.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now the preview basically gave it away, but what else can we expect from this first season? I think I kind of get the concept.
Yeah, I mean, the concept is very simple. It's just us two making our absolute favorite takeout dishes from home with some of our, really amazing celebrity guests. But what really makes this show special, to me at least, is that at the end of each episode, we order delivery of the same dish that we're making to see if our version holds up to the takeout. And I don't want to spoil it, but you have to watch the show to find out if our dish does hold up.
Well, I got to tell you, and you know this as well as anybody, you're in the business. Just when you think you've seen every food concept, you know what I mean? This, I really like this, guys. So admittedly, whose idea was this?
Thank you, Jason. It was my idea. I know
Thank you.
Take all the credit for it right now, but it's so funny because we came up with this concept 2 years ago, and just luckily, not luckily, but unfortunately because of COVID-19 and quarantine, we've all been stuck in here ordering takeout, and what a better way to enjoy cooking with your friends and getting into the kitchen, getting
from
back
6
into
feet
the
away,
kitchen.
of course.
Exactly, socially distant, of course. But it's become more relevant than ever right now, and we're really excited that it's catching on, and we're getting so much great feedback on the show.
We're looking at a clip right now, and we just saw a mutual friend, your kind of food fairy godfather, the great Andrew Zimmern. How did you guys meet? I don't think I know this story.
This is a pretty epic story, actually. We were living in New York City, but we were back in our hometown, Omaha, Nebraska, performing. And we saw on Instagram that he was doing an appearance, and we kind of connected a few dots and ended up being invited to sit at his table with him for the event he was doing. And we basically just had an incredible meal together and connected. And he invited us for Thanksgiving like 2 or 3 weeks later. And
to say we hit it off is probably an understatement, as you can see.
Yeah,
right now.
we always joke, what would have happened if we had never gone to that dinner?
Yeah, seriously. I mean,
it's crazy.
If he was a marsupial, you guys would be in his pouch. That's what I always think. It's like you're everywhere with him.
He's our food dad.
He is.
Exactly.
Where did you, I always talk about, guys, my love of TV came from my grandparents. Where did your love of food come from?
Our love of food came from the fact that both of our parents traveled internationally for work. And we'd always say, when you go for a work trip and you come back, don't bring us like a keychain souvenir. Yeah. Bring us back some amazing food, shelf-stable food from wherever you're traveling. So my mom was in Japan and she brought us red bean mochi when that's what she brought us back. And so every time she'd go on a trip or my dad would go on a trip, we'd always ask for them to bring us back some food because we always were so hungry, so curious for what people were eating all around the world. And that's really what sparked it for both of us.
And then when we started to travel internationally on our own for music, we just jumped ahead, taste buds first, into everything. And then we'd come home and we couldn't find any of these dishes anywhere that we'd been eating all over the globe. So we had to only recreate these dishes in our own kitchen. And that was another reason that sparked this show. And we're really excited about that.
Guys, before we go, I want to ask, what do you hope the takeaway is from this show for folks? What do you want them walking away with? A feeling that they could do this?
Absolutely. Two things. First of all, first of all, our restaurant industry in the whole country right now is suffering from the worst crisis it's ever had. So first of all, we wanted to order the takeout dishes to honor the restaurants and honor our favorite dishes and celebrate those restaurants and those dishes. But secondly,
yeah, exactly. But equally, we want everyone to just get into the kitchen, make it accessible. The home kitchen has become the new home theater. So just get in there. It's entertaining, it's educational. You can make no mistakes in the kitchen. It's all learning experiences. So young, old, just get back into the kitchen, have fun, make some of the dishes that you like to eat. As musicians, we always say, we like to play the music we love to listen to. So why wouldn't we cook the food we like to eat? So just get back into the kitchen, you guys.
Well, you don't need it, but continued luck and success, friends. Thank you. I can't wait to continue to watch.
Thank you so much, Jason. Thanks for having us today.
Thank you, buddies. The Takeout Twins is available on the Food Network Kitchen app right now. It's fun. It really is I love the concept. I do. We thought, we've seen it all. You eat this, you eat that, you make this out of that. This is new. We're going to take a break, everybody. We'll be back with the stars of Whose Line Is It Anyway? They have a new show coming to the Ordway. How's it going to work? I don't know. We'll find out next. Welcome back. Our next guests are well known for their roles in the long-running TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway? And they're performing at the Ordway Friday night by Zoom. How's that going to work? We're going to find out. Joining us in our first ever double Zoom, I love this, is Colin and Brad. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello, hello. This is our first double Zoom, gentlemen. First double Zoom.
Congratulations. The first time it's always special the first time.
I remember my first double Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, okay, let me start. I'll try to start with a question. How is this going to work? I mean, because when I read the script, it's like, oh, they're performing at the Ordway by Zoom. Can you kind of go through what this is going to be like?
Yes, let me first say that anyone that wants to see the show, do not go to the actual Ordway. That would be really sad. You'd be mad at us and the Ordway.
Yeah.
They are co-sponsoring the event by reaching out to their viewers, and we've played the Ordway a bunch of times in the past live. And during this time, we still want to be involved with the theaters that we have a relationship with. So they're sort of saying, "Hey, come see the show," and basically it's a live improvised show where we get suggestions from the audience, and we're on the same screen together. So it's not going to look like a teleconferencing comedy show. It's going to look like an actual sort of live TV sketch show. Colin?
I concur. It's very odd. Brad is in Las Vegas. I'm in Toronto. Through the technology that neither of us understands, it looks like we're actually in the same room. We can interact with each other. We can actually go into people's living rooms during the show and interact with them. And like our live show, it's totally improvised. We get suggestions from the audience. And the beauty is pants are optional.
Exactly. Yes. Just like this show.
And I hate to interrupt, but actually you're wrong, Colin. I'm in St. Paul, and it's still very dark here. The sun hasn't come up, but because of the time difference between everyone. Yeah. But it's lovely here. It's a brisk day.
Oh, I'm in the West Wing right now because the East Wing is being renovated, putting in a squash court.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Brad, I know obviously the disadvantages of this time period and Zoom and the delay. Are there any advantages to the art of improv, the way you're going to be doing it? Are there any things you can kind of use to your advantage?
Yes, the best advantage is we have so much more technical and visual tools and gimmicks at our disposal for this. Like we can change backgrounds, we can be in front of moving backgrounds, we have green screen. So we're sort of like it's like a weatherman on methamphetamines, really. We have all that technology at our disposal, but we're just not going to be pointing out hurricanes. So it's really fun. And, you know, in our regular live show, it's just the two of us on stage and we bring audience members up, but it's just sort of a big empty stage. So now we have all these different things to really make this feel like a television show.
Colin, do you concur?
I totally concur. Back to you.
Okay, well, I'm going to stay with you. 16 seasons, Colin. If we went back 16 years, would you ever have thought that in 2020 we would be sitting here, you in your parlor on Zoom, still talking about Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yeah, I had an inkling. This show is like a zombie. You just can't kill it. We've actually been doing it. It started in Britain, and a couple of years ago, we had the 30th anniversary of the British version, where we did some live shows at Royal Albert Hall, which was amazing. So, yeah, all in all, we've been doing this show for over 30 years. And, you know, we'll be looking forward to the next 30 years, where the improv will be a little slower and from mostly sitting down.
Brad, do you concur?
I wholeheartedly concur. You know, I think, you know, we're going to all do this. We'll be on our little rascals, scooting around the stage on our motorized vehicles. Hopefully, I'll be still young enough to use a walker with tennis balls while the other guys are in their motor vehicles. But we're going to just keep going as long as we need to.
Well, I think this is a great idea. And again, do not listen to Colin and Brad. Do not go to the Ordway. Do not physically go there. You don't have to do that, right, guys?
No, you can if you want to, but it'll be a wasted trip.
Yeah. Or you could watch it in the parking lot on your phone, in your car.
Oh, yeah.
If you really want to feel like you're at the Ordway, but then, you know, you're watching it on your phone. Why not watch it, plug your computer into your TV and see us with all the majesty of an actual television show?
Guys, I concur to all that, and thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I can't wait to watch it.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for having us on.
Colin and Brad, Stream of Consciousness is Friday night at 7. For tickets, go to ordway.org. And I think this is, I'm looking at here, it's one of the first ticketed digital events at the Ordway. Congratulations over there. We're going to take a break. Kendall is back when we come back right after this. Stream of Consciousness. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, it's been a good show today. Don't forget, you can stay connected with us on social media. All you have to do is check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's really easy. Our address, Jason Show TV. You can't get much more easy than that. And don't forget, send us your questions and comments. And soon we'll be working on something to have like a little virtual audience. More details on that coming up soon. Go get another cup of coffee. We're going to wrap things up right after this. Stay with us, everyone. Or OJ. Welcome back. Look right over there. It's Kendall. Welcome back. I missed you.
I'm here.
There's one particular segment where I really missed you.
I know. It was good. It was good.
Oh, nothing like live television. How y'all doing? Doing well, thank you.
Doing well.
Doing well. Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
that interview, I was so jealous. I used to watch that show all the time. Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
And I would only, well, I shouldn't say all the time, because I would always be like, if Colin wasn't on it, he was my favorite.
Oh, really? Oh, you had a
like-
little crush on the Colin?
I did, which sounds creepy because I was really young when I watched it, but I just loved him. He was so funny and casual with his humor.
Yeah.
I wish I was like that.
Just like I say when we have writers on the show, I am in such awe of ad-libbers, of improv. Writers and improvs, I have the fact that your mind can operate like that, you know what I mean? Like in a Robin Williams type way where we did that charity event a couple years ago for the radio station where we had to do comedy and we had to do improv exercises. I loved it, but it was still terrifying. Terrifying, yeah.
I can only imagine. I'd be like,
yeah, I've always wanted to take classes just because I think it would make me, I don't know how I could get any worse at this, but I mean, it would make me a little bit better at it, but anyway.
Perfect the craft.
Yeah, perfect. That's right, Kendall. Thank you. Perfect the craft of whatever this is.
Yes.
again, if I'm ever, I don't know what I would do after this. I don't know. I'll go back to Red Lobster and be a server. Tomorrow on the show, Dr. Eric from the St. Paul Pet Hospital will join us. See, I'm already done. And Miss Shannon will be coming back. So we'll be talking to Shannon. That'll be good. That's going to do it for us right now. If you're watching and you're a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself. And again, if you can do it, donate what you can to the good people of Louisiana. Google the American Red Cross. See you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks for watching.